Housemates, Big Brother is prepared to find two fun games for you to play. Fun games for you to play while you enjoy your dinner. The first game is called First Impressions. For this game, you will take turns picking a name from the lucky dip box.
So guys, Big Brother did something this evening, tonight, that I think has spiced up the house in a very unique way, has made people express themselves more, made those who haven't communicated with each other find a way to start the process. I think this is a very good initiative off and on when the Big Brother franchise gets to, introduce dinners like this. So earlier, Big Brother called the housemates and told them they were going to have a get to know me or get to know yourselves dinner, and they would end up playing games, right? And here was the head of house reading out the first game, which entailed that the housemates were going to pick names at random from a box. And then for each of those boxes, for each of the names they pick, they would get to tell the house their first impression of the person. Of course, being honest, they'll get to tell their first impression of that person, and then go on to, tell everybody what they feel about that person now. And that is going to go around, in an orderly format. For every name they pick, they advise not to put it back in the box. They would hold it. They should make it short, quick, but interesting and likable. So I am going to just pick out those particular ones that were very interesting for us, because we know that these people kind of have interest in each other. One of them is Ashley Ugo's own pick. She picked the head of house, that is Sweet Guluva, and she talks about how the first time she saw him, she just had to walk directly to him because he had the Zulu cap, the Zulu headband. She was interested in him. She had a conversation. And typically, like most Zulu guys, they don't talk much, but she finds him interesting. She has a huge interest in him, and she hopes that it's going to build from there. Now, I mean, when she picked out and mentioned the name, all the housemates were rallying and laughing and going like, ooh, oh my God, okay. They were clapping and cheering. We even noticed how Sweet Guluva and Swiss had to, get a high five over it. Then another one that was quite interesting, if I'm not mistaken, is JoJo. JoJo is a short lady with so much boobs, the pastor's daughter. Now she picked the name Ezra, and ooh la la, girl expressed herself to the max. I mean, if something does not start between these two after this, then I think it's because maybe one person, probably Ezra, does not have that much interest, seeing that, he's been trying to get close with Ashley Ugo. But he can see that, the Ashley Ugo thing might not really work like that. So, JoJo started by saying that when she first saw him, she was like, oh man, this guy has a fine body. He's very handsome and, the kind of guy that I would like. And then she got the chance to have a personal conversation with him at the kitchen, all those kind of coupling moments where housemates get to be in the kitchen, two people, and they're doing the same thing and talking about random stuff. That was when she got to discover that Ezra had knowledge about almost everything. And when she said everything, things outside, around things that, he relates to, farming, hunting, and all the 9 yards, right? And, she went on to talk about how each time he's talking to her, all she could see is his eyes. Like she's lost in his eyes and she could not help herself. She went on to just add, I love Ezra, and I hope that we're going to have better conversations, more time to spend together. And all I could say is another ship that would actually sail in a very good way if both parties are really interested, and will work all the 9 yards to build something beautiful out of it. We are just sure that JoJo is really interested in Ezra, but we don't know about him yet.
And I got Sweet Guluva. person I spoke to when coming into the house. He had a Zulu thing on, so I went straight to him because I knew he's from KZN. And I feel like, I'm the closest to him.
So I got the name Ezra. The first time I saw Ezra, I was like, oh my gosh. He has a very nice body, very handsome. One of those strict guys. Yeah. He just literally knows everything. I love his eyes. I love Ezra. I love you, Ezra.
Now, another pic that really caught our attention is the pic of Tyrone. And it is very, should I say monumental, sort of, because we've, in the last season and probably the last 2 seasons, we didn't get to see the male counterpart of the LGBTQ community that was represented in the show gets the opportunity to express themselves to an extent. And here we are seeing it, and something major might happen. So, Tyrone picked Swayze's name and just turned around and went and hugged him from the back. And he was like, oh, so the first time I saw you, you're like one of the last people to come in. I'm like, oh, okay. Why is he wearing leather? Like, what the hell? Okay, maybe that's just his pick, because every one of us are dressed a certain way and you decide to choose leather. Okay, no problem. People laughed. Like, I really loved it too. And then he went on to say, okay, we didn't really talk much, but he seems interesting. He seems very relatable. Someone that listens, someone who is interested in other people, and expressive. After, they got to talk a little bit. He said so many nice things that, Sweets had to pull out a hanky. I was cleaning his tears. I'm like, oh my God. Like, I just feel this is an indirect way of expressing Tyrone's likeness and, energy pull towards Swayze. And I really feel Swayze feels the same way, because I can remember Swayze saying that he is someone that could express himself to any kind of person, indicating that it could relate to both genders. Now, another one that was really captivating was that of Zuku. She picked the name Beekay. Oh my God. Oh my God, this is interesting indeed. So Beekay picked Zuku picked Beekay's name, and people were shouting and screaming aloud and all stuff. And she started by saying, okay, her first impressions with that, she saw him when he was on stage, and she's like, the way he carried himself with her eyeglasses, she's like, oh, this person is going to be a snob. Not until she started having a conversation with him when she finally got into the house. And then she noticed that, he's sweet as he looks, he's calm as he looks, and he is somebody who is genuinely cares about her, because every now and then he would ask her in a soft voice, are you okay? And she'd be like, oh yes. And then she said, she started liking him so much that it even got to a point that she had to tell him that, you know what, I want you to tuck me in bed when I want to sleep in your bed. And he, declined politely, not necessarily declined, but just like, okay, I'm going to tuck you in on bed to sleep, but not my bed. Probably because he doesn't want to share, or it was feeling too early for him. She went on to say, now at a point she started seeing herself getting deeper and deeper in likeness and attraction towards him in a romantic way. And then she just had to ask the question, how old are you? And then that was when she discovered that she was way older than him. And the feelings started dying down to just a casual feel of brother and sister vibe. But she knows that anytime she needs a hug, he is one person she can easily get it from. So one thing I'm going to really just say at this point is, I am very sure that Zuku is still interested in Beekay romantically, but now this gives paves better way for Beekay and Ashley Ugo to probably build something if she's not really into that is Sweet Guluva, and Guluva is also not into her.
I think you're one of the last people to walk in. I was like, why is this man wearing leather? Cool, love you, bye. If I nominate you, it's not serious.
That I got is Beekay. This guy is a snob. Like, to me, he's one guy that will randomly ask me, are you okay?
in a very soft manner. And actually, I'm the one who actually confronted him and said, look, I want you to take me to sleep. I want you to take me in bed, in your bed. And he was like, he's as sweet as he looks. He's as calm as he looks. That about him. I love you, Shem. I had to ask about his age because I could feel me, you know. Only to find that I am way too older than him. Just changed, like immediately. The feeling just changed from being romantic to being like sisterly and brotherly. And
now remember, there were 2 games to be played, and one was going to be at the dinner, the other would be after the dinner. Now when the housemates were done with the dinner, they had to go gather at the lounge, and the next game was that each housemate was going to randomly pick some items. The game is called mystery game, something like that. You're going to randomly pick an item from a mystery box that you cannot see the items, and then when you see the item, you give it to someone and explain how that item makes you feel about that person. Like the first game, I'm only highlighting the particular ones that caught our attention, not the general everybody's own pick, right? Now I think it was now the turn for Swiss, and Swiss picked a bunch of flowers, and then directly he walked down to Tyrone, and I'm like, oh my God. He went to Tyrone and started speaking some words in his native South African language, and everyone could understand what he was speaking, and he loved it. Like, I think he was randomly saying something like, come back to me, baby, my world is not the same without you, and all the 9 yards. And then the head of house had to ask him, why did you pick that? Why did you take the flower to Tyrone? He's like, first off, this flower signifies beauty, good smell, and peace of mind. And now somebody stole my flower, and this is him. Since he left my flower, it's not been smelling right, it's not been peaceful, and I want it back. And people were laughing, like it was so interesting. This only says one thing. This guy has also expressed himself back to Tyrone. It's like a mental, emotional, clicky energy thing. You don't need to shout and come out all too much to say what you actually mean, because he just did. Then the second one that caught my attention was that of KB. So KB picked the heart thingy with the battery and the lights, and then she turned it on. And the head of house was like, oh, when you saw that person, your heart just lit up. And she's like, oh, you people, it's not the person you people think about, Jerry. And then she went on to say, so this person kind of made me feel a certain type of way earlier, and I don't know, it's just difficult to get mad and angry at this person. We've gotten closer, we've spoken about a number of things, and each time we talk, each time I'm around him, I feel good, I feel cool. And it just says one thing, that for now, as it is, he's the one who has stolen the show, has stolen my heart. And she just walked directly to Savage and gave him the heart, and people were screaming. He stood up, hugged her, and he was trying to kiss her, and she was dodging, and people were like looking at her, this guy, Auntie, I beg, stay one place, we don't say you want her. And then he hugged her, she hugged back, and then they kissed. Yes, they kissed on live television. If anybody had told you that they've kissed before, it was not something everybody saw. This one was official. We saw that they kissed on live television. This is Big Brothers season 5 2025 edition, Umlilo season, first kiss, and it was explosive. I loved it.
Guys, can you please raise up your hand if you have a question? Because
now. Come home, it's cold. I just know. Come home, my love. See, when you look at a flower, it gives you the sense of it smells nice, peaceful vibes. Someone stole my flower. I don't know.
It's very hard, or like to be angry at that person.
What's
Yeah, so I just hit them with that. The second thing that they don't know is that there's a lot of hard work that goes into Big Brother Mzansi during the festive season. So by the time when I arrive there, I know what the heck I'm talking about and what I'm doing, and essentially what the objective of a live host speaks to. What I'm going to bring are more fashion, more crazy outfits, more crazy hair outfits, and I'm hoping that I influence culture in terms of how we express ourselves, and people are just comfortable with that. Do you know what I mean? Because I feel.
But it takes two.